The Honorable Darrell Smith, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, the Honorable Randall Mitchell, Member of Parliament for the San Fernando East and also Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Franz Huggins, First Vice President of the Amateur Swimming Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Patricia Victor Wilson, P&M candidate for the Monrepo Navet area, Ms. Teresa Lynch, P&M candidate for the Cocoyea Toruba area, Mr. Leslie Lynch, President of the Cocoyea Village Council. Parents, kids, media, good morning. We are here again for the opening of the weekend swim program here at the Cocoyea swimming facility. As you can see, it's a wonderful facility. I'm glad you took your time out of your busy morning schedule to bring your kids to come at this facility to witness this event, or the official launch of the opening of the pool on a weekend. I would like to bring to the mic to give some greetings in this historic occasion, Ms. Patricia Victor Wilson, P&M candidate for the Monrepo Navet area, to give some thoughts in the reference to this pool opening on a weekend for the first time here at the Cocoyea facility.
This is my first official, and I wasn't aware that I would have had to do a speech, but I will get there, don't worry. P&M candidate for Cocoyea Toruba, my colleague, Teresa Lynch, President of the Cocoyea Village Council, and also my colleague on the Village Council, Mr. Leslie Lynch, Representative, President of the Amateur Swimming Association, the First Vice President, colleagues, neighbors, friends, and Mr. Edwards, the manager of the Cocoyea swimming pool. It is indeed a pleasure to be here this morning to bring greetings. And I'm bringing greetings as the candidate for Monrepo Navet. And incidentally, this pool falls within my electoral district. I said it is a pleasure because I saw the making of this pool under the Patrick Manning administration. And some of you would know that this pool is just the start. It was just the start of a bigger project. We were supposed to have had this 8 acres of land here built up and developed into a recreational facility. So I guess as the pool has started and we are continuing into bigger things with the pool, the other things would come. Yes, Honorable Minister? I have started walking in the area for the upcoming local government elections on the 28th of November. And while walking, one of the concerns raised by the residents, as I was telling the MP this morning, was the fact that the pool was not available for the residents on the weekend. So it is indeed a pleasure. And we wish to say thank you to the powers that be for bringing this pool alive on the weekend. Thank you very, very, very much. And I think they deserve a round of applause. And I would be here on weekend. I've started swimming incidentally. Wow. Right, so that I will continue and I will be able to come on the weekend, right, and enjoy it. And I'm extending the invitation to members of the public of Cocoyea in particular, because I know Cocoyea people have been angry that the pool wasn't open. So you have something to be pleased about, right? So continue to work with your Honorable MP, the Ministry of Sports, etc., and with us, and we will get great things happening in Cocoyea, in Monrepo Navet, and for this district in particular. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
The Honorable Darrell Smith, Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs. The Honorable Randall Mitchell, MP for San Fernando East constituency and the Member for Parliament for the Ministry of Housing. P&M candidate, my colleague, Patricia Wilson, Monrepo Navet. Mr. Leslie Lynch, President of the Cocoyea Village Council. Mr. Frank Huggins, the First Vice President of the Amateur Swimming Association. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to my children underneath the pool, under the tent, ready to swim. My name is Teresa Lynch, the P&M. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Teresa Lynch, the PNM candidate for Cocoyea to Aruba. So even though I'm the PNM candidate for Cocoyea to Aruba, this particular area do not fall under my electoral district. However, the residents of my electoral district, they frequent this facility. And it's with great pleasure that the facility time has extended. Like my colleague said, a lot of the residents within the community would have expressed their concerns that the time was not open, that the facility was not open on a weekend. So I'm quite excited about that. To the Honorable Minister, Mr. Darrell Smith, I would have worked with his ministry previously, in particularly with the Youth Development Officer, and in particular the Youth Development Officer for the Cocoyea to Aruba area, Ms. Kia Tyson. And one of our focus that we really wanted to do, that I intend to do as the future councillor of Cocoyea to Aruba, I really hope that we can work on developing our youth. And one of our plans is working here at the facility, at the swimming facility in Cocoyea. So what I want to say is thank you all for, first thanks for inviting me to this historic event. And thank you all for your time. I hope you all can feel the excitement that we all feel here. And thank you for the Ministry of Sport for making this possible for all the residents within the Cocoyea to Aruba district, as well as those within the Manipur Navet district, because they will definitely benefit the most. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Honorable Minister Darrell Smith, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, Honorable Minister Randall Mitchell, MP for San Fernando East, PNM candidate Monrepo, Navet Patricia Victor Wilson, PNM candidate Cocoyea to Aruba, Teresa Lynch, and Mr. Lynch, President Cocoyea Village Council. Thank you for having the Swimming Association here. We are currently engaged in our national championship, so it was very rushed that one of us came down here. I chose to come down because I've been working with Ronson on getting this project going from the perspective of what the Swimming Association intends to offer in partnering with this initiative. What we foresee happening with community pools and Cocoyea being the first is that a combination of community programs and club programs develop out of this initiative. So essentially what we will have is these community kids coming to this program, learning to swim, developing through the required pathways in swimming, so that they can then go on to join our association as swimmers in our respective clubs. Now, swimming is not the only sport we do. We have water polo, we have open water, and because of the aquatic center recently opening, we're in the process of developing diving and synchronized swimming. But it all starts with a good base of swimming, which is what the community pools is supposed to help us in building capacity. So one of the things that we want to do, Mr. Minister, in the coming months is to visit all of the pools, starting with here, and start making some recommendations in terms of beefing up the equipment so that the services rendered can be at a level that will enable the clubs to function alongside the community programs here. So hopefully we will see some starting blocks, some backstroke flags, things like that as we go along, so that eventually all pools will be up and running and up to standard at that level. And eventually, some of your kids here today will be able, just like those who are up at Couva now, to be at our national championship, aiming to represent Trinidad and Tobago internationally. So thank you for having us. We appreciate this, we want this, and we will do everything in our power to continue to help this initiative grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Franz. That's some very good news. Our residents here in Cocoyea were able to hear from Mr. Huggins that the potential is there to really represent Trinidad and Tobago at the national level or elite level, and represent your country and do it proud in various aquatic sports. So look out for these programs coming very soon to the Cocoyea area. I would like to now bring to the podium the Honorable Randall Mitchell, Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. Mr. Minister.
Honorable Darrell Smith, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, welcome to Cocoyea and welcome to San Fernando East. PNM candidates, next councillors for the electoral district of Monrepo-Navet and for Cocoyea-Taruba, President of the Village Council, Mr. Leslie Lynch, and Mr. Franz Huggins, Vice President of the Amateur Swimming Association of Trinidad and Tobago. I really want to express my profuse thanks and my profound gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Sport, Minister Darrell Smith, for putting all the measures in place to have this facility open on the weekends. And I know it wasn't so simple. We had to do some recruitment and selection and make sure all the systems were in place so that the residents, the community using the pool here could be safe on a weekend. I also want to recognize Mr. Wilfred Edwards. Where is Mr. Edwards? Mr. Edwards, we the people of Cocoyea and San Fernando East, we have complained and we have clamored for far too long to be able to use these facilities on a weekend. And I know, Mr. Edwards, that you have taken the brunt of those complaints, you have taken the brunt of those attacks. But I know that you have fought for us. Along with everybody, you have fought for us, and you have ensured that we can be here to celebrate this initiative today. And it makes sense. It makes sense. The people of Cocoyea and San Fernando East are a working people. We're a working people, so it is very difficult to get to this facility before 6 p.m. just to use it. And far worse, the facility was just open to the public for public recreation maybe 2, maybe 3 times a week. The opening of this pool, we shouldn't take it so simply. The opening of this pool means that the residents of Cocoyea, and by extension San Fernando East, can come together and socialize. We can have fun, we can recreate. The children of Cocoyea and San Fernando East can come here and learn to swim. They can learn to swim, they can partake competitively. Once we can get a club here to be their home base, and they can take children under their wings so that the children can have something constructive to do. The elderly and the infirm can come here and rehabilitate, because that's what pools are also for. So this is just one step. We'll open the pool on weekends. This is part of a larger facility, as Pat Wilson has just said. You would see that we have erected some lights, and we will commission those lights very soon so that the children and the people of Cocoyea can use the field after 6 p.m. All right, so candidates, you have a slightly easier time in your walkabout. You have one less complaint to deal with. And honorable member for Diego Martin Central and Minister of Sport, I want to again thank you on behalf of the people of San Fernando East, particularly people of Cocoyea, on this initiative, and I look forward to all the positive benefits that would redound to us. Thank you.
My colleague, cabinet colleague, member of parliament colleague, and I'll say it here for the people of San Fernando, my best friend in both, Mr. Randall Mitchell. The candidates for the upcoming local government election, and I'm very shocked here that that was the first time you're speaking on a podium. You did very well. Let's give her a round of applause. Mr. Edwards, hardworking Mr. Edwards, who will be leaving us pretty soon. I've told that he's reached the age. He said in December he'll be looking at going, but we'll talk about that a little later on to see what we could do to fix that. But we'll talk about that. I know he's been here for many, many years and been working with us. We may have better things in store for him in the future. I'd also like to thank Mr. Huggins and officially congratulate the new ASAT board who just came in. Thank the former board and thank and congratulate and wish good luck to the new board that came in for swimming. They have hit the ground running. We met with them a few weeks ago. The election was a few weeks ago as well. And he's here with us this evening. As you know, there's the short course going on at the new, spanking new Swimming Aquatic Center in Couva. And I'm very grateful that he's here. And he'll be working with us with all our facilities. Mr. Lynch, as well, former councillor, parents, media, but most importantly, the young people over here this morning. One of the things that Dr. Rowley has told us as Prime Minister and leader of the cabinet and the country is to do the best that we can with what we have. We're in an economic situation right now, no fault to anybody here. It's the oil price, it is what it is. And what we have tried to do over the past year and within the next 4 years is to do the little things that make big differences. And this is one of the things that I think that we're doing, and the country will appreciate that we're doing to ensure that we do big things for the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. The oil and gas, we have become very dependent on that. It's very difficult to diverse out of the dependency of oil and gas when you don't have. Right? So we have to ensure that we do little things like this. And as I've said, as Randall has said, and as the Prime Minister has said, our greatest resource is not oil and gas, it's the young people that are here to learn to swim. So let's give the young people a round of applause. Because it's through them we're going to get new ideas, new innovation, new ways to remove our dependency on oil and gas. And that's why we are investing heavily in their future, not just with sport, not just with culture, but education and entrepreneur skills. We have several pools under our portfolio. Diego Martin in my constituency was the first pool that we were able as a pilot to test this new timing that we're doing with regards to expanding the times for the weekends and on the afternoons. I mean, it blows me away that this pool has been around for over 10 years, 11 years. And we had a minister that claimed to be the prophet, the savior of swimming before, and never did this. I mean, the weekends when the kids have the free time and the afternoons after school when the parents go run away, and they just left it as it was. But again, this is a caring government, you have a caring minister, and we're here to ensure that the kids on a Saturday and Sunday when they have free time could come and learn, and on the weekends, during the week as well, at later periods at times. Right? We also, Mr. Huggins and the MP and the people who run it is also going to be encouraging clubs to come and utilize these facilities so you could actually have competitions and stuff. And Ronson and I have already been speaking with ASET where we're going to have these starting blocks put so we can actually host meets. So all of you learning to swim, we want to have talent identification where eventually, as he said, you could be representing Trinidad and Tobago in the Olympics like George Bovell and Mr. Carter. So those are the little things that you're going to be seeing. I'll let you know as well that last week we met with the new ambassador of China. And as you all know, China is one of the countries that is doing very good in sport, not just in the Olympics, but out of the Olympics in other sports as well. And we're about to finalize a MOU with them where they're going to be working with us to teach us synchronized swimming and diving. Right? So you're going to be seeing those kinds of programs being taught here as well. So learn to swim quickly and properly so you could also try and diversify yourself into other new sports that we'll be introducing pretty soon. Right? You also want to encourage that the pool is used for water polo. So it's 4 or 5 other aquatic sports that you could do besides swimming. So look out for that pretty soon. So this time is very good with regards to the Christmas vacation coming up. Right? Make sure and utilize it. Tell your friends. We plan to see 100% increase in the usage of the pool with regards to young people. But with that comes a small cost. More chlorine, maintenance of the pool, more staff and so on. So I'm pleading with the parents and the young people here to ensure that you all do your part to maintain and keep the place clean and tidy. And tell your friends if you see anybody doing something that may be damaging the facility, pull them up, let the parents or the coaches know so that we can have the facilities for many, many more years for you all to utilize it. So I know you're all anxious to go in the pool. So I want to just say congratulations to the people of San Fernando. Congratulations to the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. Thanks to the media for coming out, the staff. And young people take full advantage of this. The next time that we're coming up here, we must see some of you all at the National Couva Aquatic Center, actually going in the big major pool where you could be participating for a spot on the national team. So God bless you all. Enjoy this morning. Enjoy the facilities. Take care of it. It's your own. And God bless. Thank you.
What we see happening at Cocoyea and what we envisage happening throughout all the community pools is to raise the standard of the overall developmental programs that are taking place here, and the initiative of having them open late evening and weekends ensures that now clubs can actively participate in those things. We're going to have clubs come here, work alongside the developmental programs to ensure that kids can now go on the right pathway towards competitive swimming and the other sports that are involved in our association. So we see this as just a beginning, the first step towards creating a larger base of swimmers for the aquatic sports in general. Well, we are moving towards a board structure now, which would indicate a different type of overall administrative structure. So the formation of subcommittees to start dealing with each particular aspect of our business is critical. And that is being tabled for discussion at our council level within the next week. What comes out of that now is no longer a need for the board to micromanage each and every facet of the sport, which generally was an ineffective and inefficient means of management. So we're seeking now to have different areas addressed by specialists in those areas, and then come to the board for implementation purposes so that we can have every aspect of the sport run more efficiently. And community pools under the arm of swimming development is a major part of that. So this actually was one of the first things that we prioritized when coming in and assuming office.
As you know, this is part of the grassroots program that was part of our manifesto, which is now policy, where we're doing little things that make big differences. And this is one of them. We started in the Diego Martin pool, where we're opening on the weekends for the first time and on afternoons late, and now we're doing it in San Fernando. We plan eventually by 2017 to have all our swimming pools opening on the weekends. Just imagine for the first time that we'll be doing that, and on late in the afternoon. So young people, I mean, it's common sense, and it's something that we plan to do. It's a little more money with regards to maintenance, with chlorine and so on, and with staff, but we work with ASAT, the sport company, the Ministry of Sport, and all the MPs and the councillors in the areas to ensure that this happens. We're going to be inviting a number of swimming clubs, and we just met with the Chinese ambassador, and we're finalizing an MOU right now where we're also going to be having synchronized swimming and diving taught from the Chinese government. So those are 3 other sports along with water polo that's going to be offered at these facilities. We're going to be putting starting blocks so they could actually host competition. This weekend is the national short course at the new aquatic center. It's been utilized by the national teams and clubs already. And we want to have at the grassroots level similar to this and across Trinidad and Tobago activities for the young people so we could have them busy so they could show their creativity and their skill, and we could have talent identification throughout the country. So I wish them all the best. Member of Parliament Randall Mitchell, the councillors have been pushing for this, and we have listened to them and we have taken heed, and we're doing it for them starting this weekend. Well, I love young people. I consider myself young. Young at heart, but as I've always said, our greatest resource is our young people, not oil and gas. It is them we have to invest in to ensure that we have innovation, that we have sport, culture, entrepreneurship, so they could come with new ideas that we could remove ourselves from the dependency on oil and gas. And Dr. Rowley, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, this government, love young people. Dr. Rowley has given young people the opportunity, like myself, the youngest number of candidates for local government. The Senate is very young. He's given a number of young people opportunities on boards and in serious positions in the country. And we are doing this to ensure that we develop it. It's always been a PNM policy to invest in the young people. I have benefited from the PNM policy with regards to young people be given opportunities, and that's why I was able to reach where I am today. So I'm just continuing that vein, and I'm very happy and I'm most comfortable around the young people. I speak their language, I understand them, I give them a voice, and I give them an ear, and I'm hoping that in my 5-year term, if I'm given the opportunity to stay as Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, that the country will bear fruit from the drive that I've been pushing. But again, you notice the Ministry of Sport was the most controversial ministry under the last government for the last 5 years. And right now we have raised to the top with regards to the jobs that we're doing with the young people and in the grassroots. Case in point, the Pro League, we're teaching people how to fish rather than giving them a fish. You've been seeing Mova, Cadadolia, AIA. We organize the ground in Mova. We have 3,000 people going games there now. We're going to fence it so they could actually start to charge people, sell merchandise items and make some money for themselves. We're also going to be doing in Sawa, Jabalute is going to be playing at the Brian Lara Field in Santa Cruz, which has been laying there for years. So my job is to come into sport and clean it up, starting at the bottom, starting at the primary school and the grassroots, and make sure that we have no controversy with any theft, and getting involved in the governing bodies. Leave the stars to the astronomers and let the governing bodies select the athletes and do the constitutional changes and hold the elections fairly. But most importantly, there are a number of swimming clubs that don't have a home. ASAT came to us, we spoke to them, now these clubs going to be able to utilize these facilities. I mean, I don't know, we had a minister of sport before who claimed to be the prophet of swimming and did absolutely nothing at this grassroots level. Again, we're here to clean up and get the job done. In this pool, I think is the figure I'm hearing is 3 or 4 more, but over with the other pools and stuff, I'm anticipating 30 new staff members, 30 to 40 new staff members. So we'll be getting the opportunity, and we're hoping that the people from the community will be getting the opportunities. No, this was done before, the refurbishment was done earlier on. This is just, as I said, increasing the maintenance. So the pumps, the chlorine before, in the last 5 years before, they used to have these pools closing on all the time because of lack of maintenance, because they won't focus on the grassroots. After the pyramid on its head, where we focus on the grassroots and pyramid and ensuring that these facilities have the funding to assist and make sure that these facilities are being upkept. So look out for the next few months. We're going to be doing a pool every month or 2, and you're going to be seeing this happen throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And for the first time, Minister of Public Utility, the Minister of Public Utility and MP for Laventille, Fitzgerald Hines, and Adrian Leons, we met. And for the first time in history of Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to be building a facility like this in Laventille. We found a venue, and within the next few months, you're going to be seeing the work start, and hopefully in the next few months, you'll have a grand opening, and similar, we'll have it on the weekends and at night and so on.
Hi, I'm Joshua McLeod. I'm a aquatic officer 1 at the Cocoyea Recreational facilities, swimming pool facilities. I've been a national athlete, a national swimmer for 15, 16 years now. I've made 6 world championships. I've been to Currifter, CISC, Commonwealth, Youth World Championships, Youth Commonwealth. And it's been a really tough road in swimming. And it has brought me here at these facilities to help out, and I believe in giving back to the sport. So that's why I'm here.
My name is Cheryl Thompson. I am a former national athlete. I am currently a patron of the Cocoyea facility. I come here regularly to continue to exercise, but in my past I have represented the country for over 10 years at games stemming from Currifter Games, Commonwealth Games, like Joshua said, World Championships, and most recently qualified for the Olympic Games this past summer. My journey to this point has been quite an exciting, however very eventful one. From a young age, learning to swim in kindergarten up until my competitive experience at around the age of 8. It was one that I really enjoyed. Always loved being in the water, and as I decided that I wanted to do it competitive and I took it seriously, it required an increased level of discipline and hard work that I had to put in and sacrifice. So it's something that I have understood to be integral to getting me to where I am today. And in my time here, as I come to swim, I have had people come up and ask me to show their children a few tips on the technique. So any opportunity that I have to really give back or to share my knowledge or experience with younger children who are interested in the sport, I definitely embrace the opportunity. So even in the future, as the government and the Swimming Association continue to put their plans in place to continue to develop the sport, I hope to be a part of it.